Here we are at Lee's, and we are with Bruno, who has brought in some delectable clothing lines. Now, you are actually from New York City, but originally from Paris.
Correct.
And tell me, here you are in Grand Rapids, Michigan.
Yes.
Beautiful, beautiful clothes. Tell me what makes you decide this is what you're going to bring here to Lee's?
When I came to this country 11 years ago to open a store, my own stores, I want to learn what the American market was and what the American women want to wear. Because Paris has its own trend, and I was thinking New York and Grand Rapids, and this country is so vast and so big, like it would be very interesting for me to see what the trend was here. And it is very interesting. So,
what have you found that is different, that surprised you about women in the United States and how they dress and like to dress?
They love to dress for fun, but they also need to be comfortable. That we don't have so much in Europe. They don't care to be really comfortable in their clothes. Here they need to be comfortable. That's the first factor for them. And after we can be fashionable. But first of all, it's the comfort.
So now that you have been with your own store, what have you found that delights you about the shopper in the United States? You mentioned comfort was very important, and then fashion. Is it neat to see designers thinking about comfort first? Are you seeing that?
The American designer, yes, the French designer that I carry here and distribute start to learn a little about this market too. Everyone needs to learn about each other. That's what makes a greater world. But what I love the most here, it's from the customer, it's the positiveness of this country. And I can bring things, even if they don't like so much, they still like positive, and we move to the next item or whatever, but it's never, oh no, that's not good. It's always a positive way to approach the clothes, even if they don't like it. So we always find a way to have a great outfit and for them to be happy with a nice ambiance, a nice way to do it.
Okay, so Bruno is from Paris, and he has brought a beautiful rain jacket from Vail. And it is, tell us a little bit about this brand, because this is a Parisian brand that is extremely historical.
Extremely, yes. It was created like many generations ago, even before Chanel was existed, and still in business and still owned by the same family. The goal is to bring to the woman the savoir-faire, the old way to do clothes and the craft.
Now, one of the things that I caught my attention immediately was this jacket that I pulled out, because I think it's absolutely stunning. I love the bright colors, but in all of the magazines...
And you didn't see the pleats on the back with the button.
Oh, and look at the pleats
we even
and the
normally
buttons. Oh my goodness, just stunning. Here's my worry on this. I have read in every magazine that horizontal stripes are extremely not flattering.
Usually they're not.
But in this jacket?
They are, because they know what they do. If it will be a two-colorway, sorry.
A two-color wet, yeah, if it was two colors only.
Only, it will be definitively not good for your silhouette.
But because it is a...
It's eye-catching.
Eye-catching.
And few colors, they really slim your silhouette. And the way they do the shoulder and because they're in the shoulders
so
and not outside.
It makes such a difference as to how they are actually created.
Absolutely.
And
the way they design and the way they choose the color and the stripe were not the same length also, the same white.
Well, that's awesome. Bruno, thank you so much for coming and bringing these beautiful clothes to Grand Rapids.
You're very welcome. And I love Grand Rapids, by the way. We eat very well here all the time.
Lisa Ying is in from New York City.
Yes.
And she's in Grand Rapids here at Lee's, and you have brought some spectacular clothes from Paris as well as the U.S. And tell me what it is that women are looking for this season and then the seasons to come. Any new trends that you've seen that just seem to be really, really right on that people should look for?
Oh, absolutely. I think overall women generally tend to look for items that really flatter them, and then at the same time they do try to keep with the current trend, which I would say it doesn't necessarily mean buying everything that you see in a magazine. However, just picking those 1, 2, maybe 5 pieces that's really on trend to add to your current wardrobe to just give it an update. And especially with the current economy, I think that's always very helpful at the current moment. Currently, I've noticed that many people are giving that extra 10 minutes to really think about whether it's really necessary or perhaps it's something that they currently have already, and instead just adding new pieces that they do not have, or adding that piece with a wow factor that they absolutely love. One thing I myself subscribe to is, unless I love it, I'm not bringing it into my apartment at all. I have to love it, and the key word is love. If I like it, I can possibly pass it.
You had mentioned the wow factor. What is it that makes a designer know that's going to be a wow? And is it a personal taste for each individual?
I think to a certain extent, absolutely, because we're all individuals with very different lifestyles. We live in different cities, and we all also travel, and we're also influenced by our friends and family. So I think for designers, a lot of them, they gain their inspiration from travels, whether it's something that they see in a hotel or while they're in nature, something that gives them a certain sense of a feeling, then they take that and they interpret that into their current collection. And I think for lifestyles and what we're looking for, it's simply a matter of whether you're walking by the lake and you look up at a tree and there's a certain color in the sky and all of a sudden it just moves you. And that can translate into the next object that you're going to buy to put on a mantle over your fireplace, or that shirt with that color that just brings you some type of memory. It's almost also like smell. When you eat something or when the weather first changes and there's a certain smell in the air. When I arrived in Grand Rapids just yesterday, one of the first things I said was, wow, it really smells like winter. It's reminding me of a ski resort. I was like, I can smell snow in the air. So I think it's really something to that extent. Little thoughts that we have every day in our lives.
And here we are with James Goodman, and James has brought in the Lafayette line here at Lee's.
Yes, I have.
Which is from New York.
We are based out of New York. Been doing trunk shows at Lee's twice a year for 13 years. That's how long Lafayette's been in business. And I have ladies that come in that bought things 6, 7, 8, 9 years ago that still wear them, that still get compliments on them because it fits. Our things travel well. And again, things can be dressed up and down, and there's something for everybody here.
How much fun did you have coming into Grand Rapids?
I love Grand Rapids. You know what? I love this store because of the level of quality of both the salespeople. They're incredible people here. They know their customers very well. And the people in Grand Rapids are the women that shop here I found to be very friendly, very ingratiated. We bring a piece of New York to Grand Rapids, which is nice. With these whole purpose of these trunk shows, Deb Clark, who is a buyer here, she comes into New York and she purchases a small amount for the store. And if you didn't have these trunk shows, essentially your customer here would be, somewhat dictated to for what their selections are of the season. This collection is in its entirety, and this is what Deb sees when she comes to New York. So women can come in, and it's almost like buying a one-of-a-kind. And the fact that they're separates, you could buy an 8 top and a 10 bottom, or vice versa. It allows the customer to almost be the buyer like Deb is in New York. So, and I think they appreciate that.